24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. And Cayman Airways. Call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And now, Barbados. And Digicel, Cayman's bigger, better network. And Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital. Always there for you. Call 949-6066.
But I do have some questions.
There are more questions than answers.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
What is on your mind, Cayman? If you are ready to talk, we are ready to listen. Here's your host, Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, welcome. Thanks very much for joining us on another fantastic Friday's edition, and I will endeavor to behave. I just had a good plate of turtle, and now some comes later on. It's going to be a good day. Well, we have fine, fellows and fellas assembled to discuss something, so share with us as we return.
Avoid any statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use indecent language or make any statement that is false or misleading. Call 1-800-534-8255, 949-6990, 949-8037, or WhatsApp us on 925-3261.
Email talk today at candw.ky. Let your voice be heard.
And now, back to Sterling Dwayne Ebanks, Radio Cayman Talk Today.
Hey, welcome back, and thanks for joining us, and to Miss Ventisha, Miss Barnes, and if he doesn't mind me addressing him as Mr. Alfonso, I'll be okay. How are you, my friend?
I'm well, thanks. How about you?
I tell people, hey, the better I'll be a twin.
Well, God help us.
He's a merciful God. But
true.
You know what? He saves the sinners and calls the saints. So I see where I'll find my space. Miss Ventisha, good afternoon, Mom. How are you today?
Good afternoon, Sterling. Good afternoon to the Cayman Islands, and good day to everyone else. Ventisha Conley from the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Heritage.
Tanisha Barnes, also from the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Heritage.
And the legendary, the indomitable.
Celebrate Cayman. That's me.
I need this to become synonymous. Miss Ventisha, I'm laughing because there's love. I like levity because there's learning. And when we're assembled sometimes, for some people Friday, it means the end of the week. For me, it's the beginning of, rejuvenation. It brings the promise of the dawn of a new day. So thanks for sharing with us. It's an exciting time for our history.
Yes, it is. Thanks for having us on the show today. We're here to talk about the Emancipation Day celebrations that are very, very upcoming here within a week. We will kick off, actually a week from today.
Yeah, exactly.
We will kick off the Emancipation Day celebrations here in the Cayman Islands after a 62-year hiatus. It's quite fitting to bring it back. So yeah, we are here to converse, inform, have a conversation,
Yeah. You know what? As we learn, we recognize that a little learning is a dangerous thing, and the more we know, we realize the more we don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I said to someone yesterday on a post that we had done, we're not talking about changing anything here because we can't change the past. Mm-hmm. We can only learn from the past to understand where we're going to in the future. So this has been, and I will say for myself, being a historian by trade, I didn't know as much as I know now about emancipation and the Cayman Islands. But in the last few months, with Tanissa and Alfonso and the rest of the team, I think we've become very versed at this point. And what I probably know, and taking from Dr. Steve's comment, I know probably 1/10 of what my friend across the table, Alfonso, knows, because he's done the in-depth dive into emancipation and our history. So, you know, it is really about learning and sharing the knowledge that we have so that others may know too.
Yeah. And the interesting thing is, it's one thing to know, and I always enjoyed Ronald Reagan and Nancy Thatcher. Huh. Yeah, that's a nice one. Fonzo, do not say anything.
Lips are sealed.
Yeah, no, mine should be. But, and with the then President Gorbachev, when Reagan would say, trust but verify. And it's one thing to interpret, redefine, it's another to spin the narratives that is rewritten. But to you, Miss Barnes, we grew up in a very oral tradition. Our history is passed down. We listen to the stories or, our elders, as it were. Anything in particular that has been for you sort of resonates, stands out, reconfirms, is a sobering reminder? I mean, anything in particular?
Well, this has been a really amazing opportunity and process in the ministry. It's taken us over a year to get to this point, a lot of research. I mean, Mr. Alfonso has been with us from the beginning. We've reached out to Dr. Steve, Dr. Roy, as well as Dr. Roy Murray in China as well. So it's been, this is a series of a lot of meeting, a lot of work that people get together. So as Vintisha said, is learning, and it's almost like each day and each time you open a piece of document, you learn a little bit more about Cayman. So it's been a very intriguing and an amazing opportunity. We want to share this with Cayman and to celebrate our uniqueness. So for the past year, the ministry has been embarking on dealing with our national identity. We've recently come out with what we call the 5 Ds, the national dish, dress, dance, dessert, and I cannot remember what the last D is. Oh my goodness.
Fonzo?
Dress. Right, so
I was going to say something else, but
so as you said, Cayman has a really amazing oral tradition, but we haven't been really good at documenting it. So that's what the ministry's been doing for the past year, and then this is just the next step of documenting what took place in Cayman, explaining to people where we come from, because you got to have a sense of where you come from to understand where you're going. Yeah. So it's been amazing. Mr. Alfonso has been an excellent resource as well. And so we've come to the point where late last year, a cabinet paper was presented and cabinet decided to reinstate Emancipation Day after a 62-year absence.
That's the thing. Say if you don't know where you're going in, the road will take you there. Mr. Wright?
Well, thanks to Tanisha and Tisha for inviting me along. I always like to talk about these things. They're anything historical about my little Cayman Islands means a lot to me. So I'm happy to be here, and any help that I can give, I willingly do that. Emancipation is a very important part of our past. It may not be wrapped in all of the nice colors and flowers and everything else that we would like it, but nevertheless, it's part of who we are. But the resurrection of the celebration of Emancipation Day is not to be taken lightly or even in a negative note. And I've had a few negative comments about why are we doing this, and we're stirring up strife and this sort of stuff. This isn't what the reestablishment of Emancipation Day is about. It's simply recognizing who we are, paying attention to our history. We have been diluting our culture. Over the years, we seem to be absorbing other people's ideas and feelings and things that are important to them. And we are slowly but surely drifting away from the Cayman that we knew and the people that built this country. Just like seafaring is a part of who we are. That's a positive note right off the bat. But slavery happened. It was here in the Cayman Islands. It may not have been the violence and all that some of the other countries experienced, but that may be because we had smaller numbers, so they were easier to be managed. And I'd like to dispel the black and white thing from the very beginning. It's nothing to do with color. We had many black slave owners on record. In our records, and people just need to do their own research and come to terms with that. But I don't know. I'm probably a descendant from a slave family. I'm not ashamed of that. I had nothing to do with it. But I believe that we all need to understand the true meaning of emancipation and that it brought freedom. And we should all strive to be free of tyranny and forced labor and being prisoners of war. And it's still the same freedoms. And I think that we need to be mindful and acceptable to those things that happen before our time, but that we can't sweep it under a rug and say it didn't happen. Mm-hmm. And we're simply celebrating our history is all we're doing. Right. We're not blaming anybody here. We're not trying to get compensation from anybody. It is simply telling our younger generation, this is where we came from. This is who we are.
With that, let's take a quick break. And I'll certainly invite you back to share so I can learn. All right, stay tuned for Talk Today.
You know who this is? That same old girl that went to Hollywood and Panama? Well, guess what? The fun ain't done yet. Because this year, I'm going to country concerts in Denver. I got kick up my heels in Times Square. And I got find my way to Barbados. I got keep living the dream with Cayman Airways. We so blessed to have them. I tell you what though, this old girl's feeling younger than ever.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering international non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, Denver, Los Angeles, Panama, Kingston, Mobay, La Ceiba, and Havana, plus Barbados. Enjoy free rum punch, free in-flight entertainment, free seat selection, and free meals on select flights. Call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
Your dream home starts with a vision, and often inspiration is at the heart of that vision. Brand Source Home Gallery's in-house designers are here to help bring your vision to life. Whether you're remodeling or building a new home, Brand Source Home Gallery is your one-stop solution. Explore their kitchen cabinets, sinks, faucets, bath fixtures, tubs, vanities, and more. Let Brand Source's designers help and inspire you with your next project. Call 623-5000 and schedule an appointment with a design expert at Brand Source Home Gallery, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park, serving Cayman for 50 years.
From boat days to beach gatherings, leave the catering to Subway. Choose from small and large sandwich platters, double meat wrap platters, and top it off with optional cookie platters for dessert. Or ask about our Subway box to go with the option of 6-inch or foot-long sandwich, 1 cookie, and 1 bag of chips. For all occasions and celebrations, let Subway focus on the food so you can focus on the fun. Visit subway.ky for catering options. Subway. Eat fresh.
Cayman, get ready for an adrenaline-fueled event like no other. Round 2 of the 2024 Sea1 National Tour, Sunday, May 5th at South Sound Dock. Watch as Cayman's top riders push their jet skis to the limits. JJ McLean, Klein Glidden, Brandon Elliott, and so many others. Family-friendly atmosphere, free admission, food trucks, and non-stop entertainment. Feel the vibe and ride the wave with the Cayman Islands Watercraft Association. Round 2 of the 2024 Sea1 National Tour, Sunday, May 5th, South Sound Dock, starting at 11 a.m. Proudly sponsored by Car City, Cayman Islands Coast Guard, Cayman Islands Fire Service, Pepsi, Fast Signs, J&M Equipment, Ministry of Youth, Sports and Heritage, Party Animals, Seabreeze Charters and Jet Ski Rentals, Verdant Isle Farms, Health City Cayman Islands, National Logistics, Onshore IT, Ministry of Tourism and Ports, Radio Cayman, and Breeze FM.
The 2024 Deputy Governor's 5K Challenge will culminate in the final race event in Grand Cayman on Sunday, April 28th. There is still time to register. Registration is $25 for adults and $10 for children under 18. To register, visit www.racecaribbean.net. If you have any questions, you can email dg5k@gov.ky.
Ladies and gentlemen, have you heard the news? Digicel is back with exciting offers that are too good to resist. Activate one of our brand new prepaid or postpaid plans today and experience telecommunications like never before. With more data, dedicated entertainment options like Netflix, YouTube, Spotify, and endless social text data for all your favorite platforms. Digicel is here to make sure you stay connected and entertained. Whether you are on a prepaid or postpaid, you will also enjoy dedicated roaming data for the USA, Canada, and the Caribbean. It's all about value, and Digicel has got you covered.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back, and thanks for the opportunity to learn. And with the presence of Mr. Alfonso Wright, Mr. Nisha Barnes, and together with Ms. Tisha Connolly, thanks very much. I think more and more we see things transpiring in our own society, in our own midst. We see things regionally and globally, and we try to understand and help us. Our phone lines are open if you have a question. 949-8037. Is that okay, Ms. Souza? We can give them that one. Or I can give them one that only 10,000 people know. 949-6990 is our request line. Of course, you can WhatsApp call 925-3261. And a week from today, then this is 6, I think, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yes, we have a series of events starting first. Next week, Friday, we have the 3-4-5 day. So we invite everyone to dress in their Cayman colors, red, white, and blue, followed by...
So our 3-4-5 day... It's proud to be Caymanian Day. We in the ministry have a couple of things that we will have on sale. The shirt that I have on, both Tennessee and I have on today, which has the Emancipation Day logo on it, will be for sale, as well as one that says #Caymanian Proud, which is a tagline for the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Heritage that we've been building on for the past two and a half years. So we'll have those on sale starting Tuesday in time for 3-4-5 day. But the thing to note about that is that it's not going to be a one and done 3-4-5 day, because we want to extend it throughout the year to remind people where they're at and how to be proud of being where they are and who they are, Caymanian. So we'll announce those after for the further 3-4-5 days. So that's Friday, May the 3rd, and then we'll have, as per usual, 9:15 on the steps of the government building. We want to see everybody out in their colors to take some photos so that we can put out there and show that you're proud to be Caymanian. And then we ask people to just take photos throughout the day, wherever they are, at home, at their workplace and whatnot, and post it on Instagram and Facebook, tag us on it so that we can repost and show our Caymanian pride. Then we have on Saturday, May the 4th, the Emancipation Celebration Gala. It is invite only at Pedro St. James, and it's mainly due to the numbers. Pedro is big, but it's not huge. And so we have to be mindful that we don't want to jam everybody up. So that's why it is invite only. And in the names that we're getting are a good cross-section of older generation as well as younger. So there's a mix there. Then Sunday, May the 5th, we're in town for the opening church service at Emsley Memorial. That starts at 4:00 in the afternoon. So we invite everyone to join us there. And again, numbers, Emsley Church only takes 400. So, when we hit that cap, we have to be mindful. And then the big day, the holiday itself, Monday, May the 6th, we are in town for the Emancipation Day Heritage Day. So all of the districts are going to be out and showing their unique take on the district's emancipation story. And We'll, of course, have entertainment. We'll have food. We've rolled some elements of the Hogstay Bay Day into the Monday holiday. So for a window, I think it's from 2 to 5.
2 to 5.
Folks who like to, swim and jump off the dock and ride their bicycle off the dock, those good old days. The little area there called Hogstay Bay, we'll be having swimming activities there, as well as activities happening on Seafarers Way and Cardinal Avenue throughout the day. There'll be a main stage with entertainment throughout the day, Impulse, Regeneration, Michael LeMay with his Steel Pan crew, the UCCI dancers, and Swanky. It's going to be a true celebration of emancipation for Monday. And for the first time, I think, not the first time, I don't think, but that night at 8 o'clock, we will be lighting up Georgetown Harbor, Hogstay Bay Harbor, with 600 drones. So the night sky is going to be lit up. The drones will be telling the story of the Cayman Islands and some key points about the Cayman Islands. We'll be lighting up the night sky with the drones. And no event is without a little boom boom, as I like to call it, from Lord Graham. So once the drone show is finished and those drones are back on the ground, Lord Graham will light up the night sky, give us a little boom boom, and then send us home. So the Emancipation Day holiday celebration starts at 1 o'clock and ends at about 8:30. And there'll be food on sale and areas and things for the kids to do, as well as the older folks. So, come on out, celebrate with us. On Tuesday, then, we will be at Governor's Beach at 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock to release the Emancipation Day turtle, partnering with the Cayman Turtle Center and releasing a 62-pound turtle, signifying the year of the return, our 62 years to return. So we invite people to join us at that location also. And then on Wednesday, we'll be moving up to Bordentown to a section of the slave wall that still stands. Graciously, we met with Miss Dipna Carter yesterday, whose property has a huge cross-section of the original slave wall that still is in Bordentown, and she has graciously agreed for us to put a commemorative plaque there and have an area where people can come up the side of her yard and actually view the slave wall. So we'll be having a little ceremony there with the acting premier at the Honorable Dwayne Ebanks, as well as the MP for Bordentown. Don't ask me the district.
West. I think he's West.
The Honorable Dwayne Seymour, as well as the Honorable Isaac Rankin. So we'll have a little ceremony there, and people will be invited to come out and see that. And then we wrap things up, of course, in the Sister Islands. I'll be going home with Cayman Brack's version of the Emancipation Day Heritage Day in the Heritage Park in Spot Bay on Saturday, May the 11th. And then we'll close it out with a church service at the Aston Ruddy Center, a joint church service at the Aston Ruddy Center on the Sunday. So it's going to be a week filled with events. And besides all of this, I know the museum is opening a new exhibition for Emancipation Day. And one interesting part of that, Tanissa, you want to talk about the museum's
or exhibit?
Yes.
So the museum will be open on Emancipation Day, the public holiday, and it'll be free for persons from 1 to 7:30 to come in and view the exhibit. So that we are inviting people to come and do it. And there's a history going through emancipation and slavery in the Cayman Islands. So Those people who know me know in a former life I was a teacher. So put back on my teacher hat and kind of talking people through it and explaining it and answering a lot of those questions. So to your point earlier, a lot of us aren't aware of our history. We don't know it. You know, some people have been lucky enough to have the stories told down to them. But for those people that haven't, this year, the year of the return, we're all learning together about Cayman's unique history and what makes us special. So and one of the panels that we're talking about is why did we pick the May date and not August? Because I know there's been a lot of discussion around that. So we're going to explain to people why that date is important for us here in Cayman.
Mm-hmm. I think with Susan shared, we have a call online, Mom. We take the call. All right. She said no. She was in charge. All right, 4 women and 50 men. 4 women still in charge. Let's take this break, and when we come back, we'll invite the callers. Stay tuned.
At Doctor's Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctor's Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
From boat days to beach gatherings, leave the catering to Subway. Choose from small and large sandwich platters, double meat wrap platters, and top it off with optional cookie platters for dessert. Or ask about our Subway box to go with the option of 6-inch or foot-long sandwich, 1 cookie, and 1 bag of chips. For all occasions and celebrations, let Subway focus on the food so you can focus on the fun. Visit subway.ky for catering options. Subway. Eat fresh.
Discover your dream home with Cayman National's home loan. Get up to 95% financing, repayment up to 40 years, and just a 0.5% commitment fee. Your interest rate? Depending on your risk factors, it'll be fixed or variable. Plus, you get a pre-approved credit card. This is a limited time offer. Dial 949-8300 or email lending@caymannational.com today.
Capella Music Festival is revving up the excitement and allowing you to make a difference to Jasmine and Meals on Wheels by purchasing a raffle ticket to win a brand new Suzuki Grand Vitara from Car City. Tickets are $25, available online at capellamusicfestival.com, at our daily ticket stops, and via the charities. Winner will be drawn on the night of the festival.
Brought to you by Cayman Bay, Cayman Airways, Car City, Digicel, Borough Development, Red Bull, the Ministry of Planning, Agriculture, Housing, Infrastructure, Transport and Development.
In the tranquil beauty of the Cayman Islands, our island paradise, the Lions Club stands as guardians of our precious environment. Join the Lions Club of Cayman Brac in their mission to preserve the natural splendor of our island home. Together, let's take a stand against pollution, against deforestation, and against the erosion of our coastline. Let's embrace sustainable practices, conserve water, and reduce our carbon footprint. Together, we can ensure that our Cayman Islands remain a paradise for generations to come. Let's protect our environment today for a greener, healthier tomorrow. An Earth Month message from the Lions and Leos of Cayman Brac.
The New Testament Church of God in Georgetown is inviting the community to their weekend revival, Friday, April 26th through Sunday, April 28th, starting at 7 p.m. each night, featuring guest speaker, Caribbean Field Director, Bishop Ishmael Charles. The New Testament Church of God in Georgetown weekend revival, starting at 7 p.m. Friday, April 26th through Sunday, April 28th.
Water Authority Cayman wishes to advise its customers and the motoring public that crews are currently working to repair a leak on the Linford-Pearson Highway. To facilitate this repair, 2 of the westbound lanes between the Downtown Reach roundabout and Rankin Drive will be closed. 1 lane will remain open. The work will take place until 2:30 this afternoon. Service interruptions may occur Notices of any and all service interruptions will be posted on the Water Authority website at www.waterauthority.ky. The Water Authority appreciates the patience and understanding of its customers and the motoring public as it upgrades its water infrastructure and to apologize for any inconvenience caused.
Our rich and diverse natural environment is one of our most important assets. Strong coral reefs are our first line of defense against intense storm waves. Healthy seagrass beds and mangrove forests provide a nursery for the sea creatures we depend on, while our native forests stimulate our rain cycles and help to control inland flooding. Economic resilience requires environmental resilience.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back, and thanks to Mr. Alfonso Wright, Mr. Barnes, and Ms. Ventisha Conley for sharing with us. And we're talking about the Emancipation Day events coming up a week from today to start. I believe we have that call online, Ms. Susan. Respectfully, let's take this call. Hey, welcome. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon to you, Mr. Sterling.
And to you, sir. How are you today?
Good afternoon to your illustrious panel there.
Good afternoon,
Nice
sir.
to hear what you're saying. Of course, I would say better we're taking that 62-pound turtle and butchered it and had a meal. A 62-pound turtle can make a meal for a few Caymanian families. Anyway, won't go into that now. The emancipation we're talking about, and why there is that continued query about August and May, is that we know the actual abolition of slavery was at the stroke of midnight, July the 31st, 1834. 1 second after the stroke of midnight, July the 31st, is the 1st of August. That's why all these countries around us, former colonies, some now independent, etc., celebrates the 1st of August. And that was the actual abolition. Slavery ended then.
Yes.
But the British government had implemented, it was discussed, I imagine, and there's nothing much in history about those, that a system of apprenticeship labor that the slaves were to have gone into and under for 4 and 6 years, virtually working for nothing or little or nothing. And the system was not working in Cayman for the 985 slaves here, and they hadn't been registered as they should have been. So the slave owners were not receiving they were supposed to have received a compensation, a monetary compensation from the British government, and so forth. But representation had been made to the British governor in Jamaica from both the two-part house, the legislative assembly members, the representatives, and then also the former government, which was the first government, which was the magistrate or justice of the peace, justices of the peace, to do something about the situation that in Cayman. And it was very, very adamantly opposed by them, as far as the history I can gather from family notes and so forth. And the British governor of Jamaica, Lord Sligo, was his title. His real name was Peter Brown Howe. He was an Irishman from Sligo in Ireland. And he replaced an Irish governor, Lord Belmore, from Belmore in Ireland. 2 back-to-back British governors in Jamaica. Sligo wrote that document and brought it here himself. He arrived on the 2nd of May in the afternoon, 1835, May the 2nd. And he spent a day here. He was accompanied by Captain Pack, an army captain. And Captain Pack was given his own sloop to come here, and I imagine a captain and crew with it, because he was not a naval captain. And Pac stayed on, I think, for about 3 weeks. But he read the document out, that document. I imagine that's what we're talking about, celebrating the arrival of that document and what it meant. It says papers pertaining, I think, to the abolition of slavery for the Grand Caymanas. That's how it was headed up, I believe.
Yeah.
I stand to be corrected. That's what the British government termed us officially as. Anyway, Park read the document out first on May the 3rd at what is now the museum. And
agreeing with everything you're saying.
Yes, it was read out there first. Then in Bordentown on May the 5th.
Yes.
And then at the St. James House at Pedro Point, which we call Pedro Castle, on May the 6th, 1835. And what it did was end the apprenticeship system here in Cayman for the 985 slaves. And Mr. Wright is correct in that there were a few slave owners here who were former slaves. And they were freed long before abolition for various reasons. One famous woman comes to mind, Elizabeth Jane Trustee. She owned the most slaves as a former slave. The same thing curiously happened in the United States too. That there was a woman who owned the most slaves as a former slave in the United States. But she owned, that woman in Louisiana owned way over 1,000 slaves.
Yes, sir.
And it ended the apprenticeship system here. That's what that document did.
Well, can I interject? When we say, I think sometimes we confuse words with the facts. In that you part of what you were saying, we talked about what happened on August 1st and the apprenticeship program under slaves in Cayman not being registered. So Cayman didn't actually participate in the apprenticeship program. I think it's maybe it's a technical point, but when you just said that it ended the apprenticeship program in Cayman, is that what happened? Or we didn't actually participate in the apprenticeship program?
I believe it had been implemented.
But how could you if the slaves were not registered? Because the apprenticeship program has to work through the records going through Jamaica, that the UK government would know how many slaves were registered.
Well, that document was written at the request of the slave owners here, at the request of the two parts of government here, right? And it is a very complicated thing.
I know.
We go back into the history of it and into the archives in Jamaica. We can learn something about it and all that, because Pac says those who have become apprentice laborers. That's what he says in the document.
He used those words.
The who have become apprentice laborers. They're now free.
Yes.
But we also have to realize the British governor who wrote that document and brought it here himself was against freeing the slaves.
Yes.
Because he also says so in the document. He says, I'm commanded to write this document. He was ordered to do so. The British government had heard about the dilemma here. So whether we
but it's just interject. I mean, this is where language becomes more than semantics, right? If you think of how words were posited back then, being commanded, it not necessarily has to be interpreted and inferred and applied the way it is today. I command you, right? I get your point, and this is where I think, for me personally, we have to be ever so mindful when things are presented, because in my humble view, in history, when it comes to facts, there is no place like our history book talks about. It could be, suppose it was. It needs to be absolute and factual, and opinion is relegated to public commentary and debate, and not for historical reference.
Yeah, and we interject personal feelings and thoughts, and sometimes that becomes history itself.
Yeah.
But
if I might, Mr. Wright,
well,
to you, Mr. Hurlston,
is he finished? Because I'd like him. If he's not finished, I'd like to have for him to conclude.
Which is what I was going to ask you. If it's okay with you, Mr. Wright, can I go back to Mr.
Yeah,
Hurlston?
Yeah, I'd like to hear what he.
Yeah, and Mr. Hurlston, when I what I wanted to ask of you, you were referencing the apprenticeship program. It's our understanding that in the Cayman context, once that declaration was given, they were free then and there. They did not, as a consequence, have to go through this apprenticeship, which in some sense is almost like servitude as we understand it. Could you clarify that from your understanding, sir?
Have you ever read the document?
Yes, sir.
What does the British governor say? You're saying he was not commanded. The British government had heard about it.
No, sorry.
No, you're missing his point. He is. I think what he is saying is that the fact that he said I was commanded we cannot ascertain from that he was against it. If it was a command, it was a command. He may have been for it as well as against it, but we cannot surmise that because the language says I was commanded means that he was not in favor. That's the point he is making.
What does he say? He says, though I think it's an injustice and an inconvenience for the slave owners to be deprived of the services of their Negroes. I am commanded to write this document.
Okay, so you clarify that's the point we're making, but we don't want to make statements in absentia of the fact.
Yeah, but also what I was trying to say is that not even that point, just like the language today, right? There's so much. We take English of yesteryear and we see the words even today. I'm told that if I say to somebody about you salt, that means they're bad luck. Today, that has a different connotation. I didn't know, right? I didn't know the chill meant to me differently.
Yeah.
But Mr. Hurlston, we want, if you're okay, to stay on the line, and I want to ask the question about, did they mean for them that they were free then? But we have to take the news break. Are you able? Do you have time to stay on and join us?
I'll just say this quickly.
Yes,
you
sir.
and I are not British governors. It's a different thing when a British governor receives an edict or fiat from the British government, signed by the reigning monarch, which would have been quite possibly Her Majesty Queen Victoria's father at the time. But this is what I'm saying. He was ordered to write that document. He says he was against
yes, sir.
slaves. Why won't you believe it?
No.
Yes, sir.
We agree with you, Mr. Hurlston.
Yes, sir.
You're right. You're correct.
Yeah. Hey, thanks very much. And you know what? That's where you learn when you listen. Respectfully, stay with us. And then
he's right.
Yeah. When we come back, we'll talk today.
From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines.
Local, regional, international news.
With your latest headlines, I'm Felicia Rankin-Solins. According to the Cayman Islands Department of Tourism, the Cayman Islands welcomed 137,094 stayover visitors between January and March 2024, the second highest visitation figure for this period in the island's history, only surpassed by the same period in 2019, representing a 13.4% increase from 2023 or 94% of 2019's record number. In international news, a norovirus outbreak at a festival in southwest Germany has affected more than 800 people. They caught the vomiting bug in a marquee at the Spring Festival last weekend. It's not clear how the virus was first contracted, but the scale of infection has increased during the week. Officials believe it was not linked to food or drink served in the festival tent, as samples taken have all tested negative. The city's health department also tested marquee staff, as well as dishes and water used for washing them up. Instead, they are assuming the virus was passed from person to person, possibly through the air, although it is not clear whether the original source was a visitor or an employee. Protests calling for universities to boycott companies and individuals with ties to Israel amid the ongoing war there have swept college campuses across the U.S. Tensions have been escalating at universities in the wake of the October 7th attack by Hamas that left around 1,200 people dead in Israel and led to Israel's assault on Gaza that has killed more than 34,000 Palestinians. Major encampments and protests were seen first at Columbia University in New York, but have since erupted elsewhere across the country. These are your headlines. I'm Felicia Rankin-Zollins.
More news available at www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
HSA's Urgent Care Clinic is now open 7 days per week to serve you better. Visit our dedicated team at Urgent Care Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. and weekends and public holidays, 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. No appointment necessary. If you are experiencing non-life-threatening symptoms and conditions such as the cold and flu, sprains and cuts, earaches, nausea and vomiting, visit Urgent Care's walk-in clinic at the main entrance of the Georgetown Hospital, now open every day. At HSA, we are committed to caring for you.
Find your dream car with a Cayman National Vehicle Loan. Enjoy 100% financing, up to 8-year repayment, and a 7% fixed interest rate for the first 5 years. For eco-friendly cars, we'll waive your commitment fee. This only applies to new vehicles. Call 949-8300 or email lending@caymannational.com today.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
You know who this is? That same old girl that went to Hollywood and Panama? Well, guess what? The fun ain't done yet, because this year, I'm going to country concerts in Denver. I got kick up my heels in Times Square, and I got find my way to Barbados. I got keep living the dream with Cayman Airways. We so blessed to have them. I tell you what though, this old girl's feeling younger than ever.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering international non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, Denver, Los Angeles, Panama, Kingston, Mobay, La Ceiba, and Havana, plus Barbados. Enjoy free rum punch, free in-flight entertainment, free seat selection, and free meals on select flights. Call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
Our climate is changing, and so is Cayman. Stronger and more frequent hurricanes, longer periods of drought, sea level rise, and higher temperatures are already impacting our communities. If we take nature into account before we act, we can harness nature's benefits and reduce the devastation caused by natural disasters. Because when we put nature front and center, nature can provide the solutions.
Water Authority Cayman wishes to advise its customers and the motoring public that crews are currently working to repair a leak on the Linford-Pearson Highway. To facilitate this repair, 2 of the westbound lanes between the Downtown Reach Roundabout and Rankin Drive will be closed. 1 lane will remain open. The work will take place until 2:30 this afternoon. Service interruptions may occur. Notices of any and all service interruptions will be posted on the Water Authority's website at www.waterauthority.ky. The Water Authority appreciates the patience and understanding of its customers and the motoring public as it upgrades its water infrastructure, and do apologize for any inconvenience caused.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back, and thanks very much. And to the last caller, I trust that my interjection was not in any way inflammatory or disrespectful, because I can say, very few instances, but this one, all assembled around the table, we have the utmost love and respect for Mr. Hurlston. He brings a strong, yeah. So, Mr. Hurlston, I hope that's not it. But to Mr. Alfonso, right, we sort of defer to you, not because in this instance, and I say this jovially, that you may have a year or two senior on us collectively, but because so to Miss Barnes and Miss Conley, we do have some callers online. Should we take those first, or?
Yeah, let's take them.
Okay, all right. Hey, welcome. Thanks for calling.
Hello.
How are you today?
Hi, fine, thanks. Maybe if you say the last digits of which call you're going to take when you have more than one, because I never know when it's my turn.
That's
I don't even know either. So, so
Susan,
that if it'll help you,
listening?
right? If it'll help you for my benefit, a fantastic team who does all the stuff. All I gotta come and look handsome is talking to the microphone. That's the extent.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
I will email Miss Susan.
No.
Good afternoon in any case, gentlemen, Mr. Wright and Dwayne. and a happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
We can lead that be.
Yeah, I don't know if there was any thought about doing a specialized license plate for emancipation celebrations, but I thought that would have been a good idea.
Actually, to your point, we actually did reach out and we're trying to work on it. So we haven't given up on that idea yet. So it's being worked on in the background. So you never know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, apparently that process takes quite a bit of time to work out. So.
Because the quincentennial plate turned out pretty good. I still have mine.
Yeah, so I still see them all over the place.
Yeah, the other question I had was, will the Emancipation souvenirs products be on sale after Tuesday, or is it just that one day?
They'll be on sale starting Tuesday. So they'll be being sold at the government admin building. We're also going to do some pop-ups throughout the island as well. So starting Tuesday, but keep an eye out and follow our webpage, or also us on Instagram and Facebook, the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Heritage, for updates. As well as we'll also try to give it to Radio Command to keep you all updated on where we'll be.
Okay, sounds great, because I called the government building and they weren't too sure if they were going on any days besides, Monday, Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you very much. It's a really interesting discussion, and I hope you guys have a nice afternoon, Dean. I'm sorry, the other guest there, I'm not seeing you online. I'm just listening to the radio, and I didn't hear your
Hey,
voice.
listen, radio is where we should be.
No disrespect to you at all.
No,
Right,
no.
guys, have a
None
good
taken.
Thank you for listening, and thanks for sharing. And have a wonderful weekend as well. Do we take the other call, Miss Susan? All right. So that was caller one. This is the next. Let's go to the phones. Miss Alfonso, right? Miss Tanisha Wines and Miss Ventisha Conley are our guests. Hey, welcome. Thanks for calling. Yes, hello? Okay. All right. Oh, we'll figure it out in a minute. And Mr. Wright, if you wanted to, or perhaps Miss Barnes, who wishes to share with us next?
I can go. There's also, Ms. Tanisha started talking about it earlier, and I can expound it a little bit more. There's a question around why
May versus August?
Why the Emancipation celebrations stop being observed in Cayman. And I've heard a lot of stories, a lot of speculation as to what some people believe might have happened. And I don't know. I can't verify any of that. But again, I like to lean on the facts, and to say that there is a. I'm looking here in a copy of government notice that comes from the administrator's office. It was Jack Rose at the time, and this is dated the 12th of May 1961. And this says the Public Holiday Amendment Bill 1961. And says, in order that the 4th of July should be observed as a public holiday to commemorate the day on which the island's new constitution came into effect, the attached draft bill has been prepared. The 1st of August, hitherto observed as a public holiday, has been removed from the schedule of holidays. That's 1961. So on a subsequent document on the 19th of May, it speaks to the Public Holiday Amendment Bill 1961 again. And there are 5 notations, and I'll need to read them if they're not long.
Yes, sir.
And the first one says, on the opposed motion of Honorable E.O. Panton, seconded by Mr. D.V. Watler, the bill has been given a first reading. The next line, on the unopposed motion of Honorable E.O. Panton, seconded by Mr. D.V. Watler, the bill was given a second reading. Next line, on the opposed motion of Honorable E.O. Panton, seconded by Mr. D.V. Watler, the House went into committee to consider the bill clause by clause. I don't have a copy of the bill. Can't find that. The bill passed the committee stage without amendment. On the unopposed motion of Honorable E.O. Panton, seconded by Mr. D.V. Watler, the House resumed. On the unopposed motion of Honorable E.O. Panton, seconded by Mr. D.V. Watler, standing orders were suspended for the bill to be given a third reading. The bill was passed. So I don't know what happened at committee stage, right? And so there's no reason that we can find here as to why. But they did not even refer to this as Emancipation Day holiday. They simply said August 1st holiday. So what I also know is that around the same time, that Jamaica was considering independence, and at that point we were still being governed through Jamaica. Okay.
There was the British governor in British Jamaica before Jamaica became independent was
exactly in 1961. Jamaica did not become independent until 1962.
All right.
So I'm just going to read another piece here from the Loop, and it says, Emancipation Day was reinstated as a public holiday by Prime Minister P.J. Patterson in Jamaica in 1998 after a 6-year campaign led by the late Professor Rex Nettleford. It was discontinued as a holiday when Jamaica gained independence from Britain in 1962. However, at that time, it was not an official national holiday. So I'm just saying that what I think happened to us here is simply because we were being governed through Jamaica, and those laws would have been passed down to us when Jamaica started celebrating August 1st. It simply was something that was passed down to us. And I'm forced to believe, I can't prove anything, but I have to believe that it had something to do with Jamaica taking it off their books and not celebrating it, why it fell away from ours here as well. I don't know whether the discussion had started about the difference in the dates, in that some happened in August of 1834, and that we didn't really get it until May of 1835. I don't know whether that discussion was going on at the time. But I have to believe that the thinking could have been that since Jamaica don't deem this as an important thing, that why should we continue doing it here in the Cayman Islands? And then Jamaica became independent in 1962. So it was not until 1998 that they actually brought back the celebration of Emancipation Day. But also remember that is also around their Independence Day,
right?
As well.
Yeah.
So I'm saying there's reasons for things, but until we get the facts, it's hard to just surmise that it was a nefarious act.
Yeah, and it was interesting. I see this is where I think too many times we get emotive with much, but when it comes to history, for me, there are very few things that need to be absolute, and the historical record needs to be one of those things, right? And if you're saying, Jamaica's independence in 1962, it's not until 1998. I don't think we need a calculator to calculate how many years, but it's more than a day before they brought it back, right? After, if I heard you correctly, after a 6-year campaign by Professor Nettleford to get it back on the books, right?
So it wasn't easy to get it back and to get it back.
Right.
And, yeah.
We know that with the sugar plantation, at least from the recorded history we have access, it was a violent. Slavery was violent in Jamaica, right? But I still have to ask then, was there, and in preparing for today's discussion, just trying to understand some of our oral traditions and oral history and the like, did we not have a tree planting day, a family fair day around in May? Am I mistaken? Because some are a little bit older than me. Say Axel Alfonso, he was there, but
oh yeah, there used to be a tree planting day and family. Well, we called it Family Fair Day, but it was done in that holiday,
right?
Around the Discovery Day holiday,
right?
In May. That we used to do things that were, I guess, more traditional, Kimanian stuff.
This was in May, and then this was, well, we even made a change. I guess it was a tree planting day or something. It wasn't Discovery Day, the name, until sometime later, right? It was formalized.
I thought it was always Discovery Day.
Yeah. But see, and these are questions I've asked of people, and nobody said it. It's challenging to find the actual record.
The other names I think were unofficial. We referred to them as a day to do these things, but I think it was always Discovery Day.
And I guess in trying to understand the comment from the gentleman earlier today, he was saying to me, that's one of the things that we have to ensure that whenever we record something, that it's accurate. I wrote down the words. He said, don't redefine, don't reinterpret, and don't decamanize. And with his permission, I said, I gotta write it down because I wouldn't remember it. Redefine, reinterpret, decamanize, our history. Hopefully one day he'll make time and share with us. But again, that's why I was sharing at the outset. We have a very strong oral tradition, and even some of the recorded stuff that we can refer to seemingly is questioned by some of us as to whether that was the practice, but I wasn't there.
Well, yeah, but this is why bringing it back the way it's coming now is so important.
Yeah.
But because it brings everything back to the fore, we now begin to document things the proper way, and we're now leaving a legacy for those that come after us.
Yes, sir.
But if the longer we leave things like this, the easier it becomes forgotten and part of the past. So I think the timing is right for bringing back Emancipation Day here in Cayman. But I just want to say too that just read this last thing for you.
Yes, please.
It says here, the first country in the world to commemorate Emancipation Day as a national holiday was Trinidad and Tobago, which did so in 1985. So I don't know how many other countries out there right now, I can find that out shortly, celebrates. I think a lot of countries recognize the day, but I don't think many have it as a national holiday.
And Belize just brought theirs back, was it 2023 or 22? So they've just reinstated theirs as well.
Yeah.
But we're here to talk about our Emancipation Week. All the stuff that's going on. I want to use the rest of the time to advise the people of what's happening next week.
You see why he made a good president?
But we needed to give some of the facts. We needed to give some of that.
No, but it's important.
But of course.
Yeah. And the idea of having a 3-4-5 day, there are a number of us, including, all three of us at some point just listening to me banter. And I thought September was a great time to celebrate our people, because on a personal level, observation shared that was a transitional time in our history. Seafarers were missed. We had all sorts of things transpiring. Economically, it made sense.
I thought it was because of the month I was born.
You stole my thunder. That was the man. No, I can't. But that's primarily why it was important to have it. The National Alfonso Day. All right. He born in the 31st of September, just in case you were wondering.
We'll recognize that day. We'll recognize that day.
No, but I like when we have pride and we become passionate as people. And those 4 Ds he talked about. I think the 6th one is Daddy. Hey, Fonzo? Daddy Fonz?
Am I taking you on?
You see, you might be brother. All right, so next Friday week, hence, we have the Proud to be Cayman Day, 3-4-5 day. As Ms. Ventisha was sharing earlier, all of us, irrespective of we go back generations, whether we are just about to get the stamp on our certificate of Caymanian status, or we're only here for a short time. This is a time to be invested and show your love and support for that place that butters your bread. How do we get the T-shirts prior to that day, Miss Conley? I mean, do you hand deliver?
So starting Tuesday in Government Building at about 10 o'clock, we will open sales of the T-shirts, and we have more than just T-shirts, as the caller asked about earlier. We do have other memorabilia that's going to be on sale. We have a tote bag, a water bottle, a hat. Can't remember something else.
We have baseball caps.
Baseball caps, bucket caps. So we have a number of different things that are going to be on sale as memorabilia. Two other things that we're working on also, kind of as giveaways, and then one we'll be selling again later in the year is the poster. So we've gotten permission from local poet Nasaria Sekou to do a reprint of her poem on Long Celia. So we will be, doing it up on a nice poster size so that it can be put in classrooms, put around schools, put in libraries, so that, you see that element of your history and you start to want to learn about it and get involved. So we will be doing that as giveaways, but also something that the ministry is passionate, and here this is where we work cross collaboratively with the Ministry of Education, as we did earlier this year with the National Heroes booklet. We are doing one for Emancipation Day. Again, two young Caymanian authors and artists are working on that, Camille Angel and Brian Watler Jr. So later in the year, when we've they've finished the book and we've printed enough copies, again, we're going to put it in the schools and we're going to put it out there for people to purchase so that they have that as a talking point for our Emancipation Day celebration. But yeah, from Tuesday onwards, we'll be selling in the Government Building. And like Tanissa said earlier, we'll have some pop-up stores happening, maybe down at Cayman Bay or out at the museum, or down at the West Bay location for the National Museum, and maybe once in the Eastern District, so that people who don't come necessarily into town will be able to purchase. So that's in time for the 3-4-5 day on Friday. Again, on the Saturday, the gala, which is by invite only, will be happening at Pedro St. James. And then Sunday, our church service at Elmsley Memorial, starting at 4 p.m. in the afternoon. We do invite folks to come out and join us there. And then Monday, the big celebration in town, in Central Georgetown and Hogside Bay, and Cardinal Avenue and Seafarers, with all of our districts. We're catering right now for probably about 10,000 people to come out here. We want it to be bigger than what Alfonso did for Heroes Day.
What a benchmark.
You set the bar really high.
He set the bar really high, really, really high. And so we want it to be just as special and celebratory as Heroes Day was, because it's a celebration of freedom. It's not a celebration of slavery. It is a celebration of freedom.
Absolutely.
And the joys that we've had since that freedom was granted to us. So we invite everyone to come out and join us on Monday, starting at 1 o'clock in Central Georgetown. We'll have parking all over the place, park over in behind the immigration government parking lot. We'll have some shuttles running people in. So there'll be seats for everyone to sit, chat, talk, play some dominoes. Apparently, one of the tents, I think it's the Georgetown Heritage Committee, is going to be having marbles for the older generation. And I'm going to probably spend a little bit of time in that one, because I want to see and participate with these older gentlemen playing marbles, because according to them, those guys can still get down on the ground and run marbles. And apparently there'll be Lude games happening, and I am sorry, I'm learning, and I'm going to learn how to play Lude from one of these older guys, because I hear that it's really, these are highly contested games.
Oh yeah, very exciting game.
So,
but why you only involving men in the marbles? We had some serious women marble players in Cayman. And
really?
I know in Georgetown. Oh yeah, I remember. I don't think I get in trouble for calling her name, but there was a point in my life where I lived along Shedden Road, close to where Paramount Carpets used to be, where FIS is now, and there was their family right behind there, but her name is she's still very much alive. Her name was Magali, and Magali was a serious marble player. Right, and I think a lot of the young girls in their area at the time used to play marbles, so don't discount them. Involve the women.
Probably invite them.
Challenge them.
Exactly. I mean, this is what I love to
you learn, man.
Learn from that older generation. You know what and how they strategized, because it is a game of strategy.
She sent me home crying many days.
took all your stories,
your marbles.
So you're like what, knuckling, quenching, killing, not cutting around, not taking
knuckling. What? Knuckling. All right, I don't know where he going.
You can play that, right?
I don't know where he going.
Call out to Ray Banker.
Yeah, and so, you know, Monday is going to be a celebration. Come on out, join us, bring your swimsuit. We'll have lifeguards from the Cayman Turtle Center out there. The Coast Guard will be out there, Harbor Patrol. So everything is going to be safe, and you're going to feel like it is a celebration out there. So we invite everyone to come out and join us. And then on Saturday and Sunday, if you can join us in the Sister Islands, come on out, join us. We're looking forward to going over there and doing their Heritage Day, and then wrapping up the celebrations with the closing church service. And one thing that we're going to be doing is we're also relighting the Jubilee Beacon. So on Saturday the 4th, when we're at Pedro, we'll be relighting the Jubilee Beacon as a sign of, you know, restarting and reigniting the conversation of freedom for us. And we'll also be igniting it in the BRAC at the same time. And then once we finish with the closing church service in the Sister Islands, we will distinguish both beacons at the same time. So we invite. Go ahead, Fonzo.
No, you good.
We got a request for Fonzo to be, demonstrating his marble technique.
Fonzo.
Come on, Fonzo.
Well, if somebody help me get back up, I can get down. Somebody help me get back up.
We'll have the fire service out there.
We can do that for you, man.
Yeah, I will. Yeah, sure.
So it's going to be a week of celebration and conversation. So we invite everyone to come out. If you have questions, I mean, we learned a couple days ago, once we made our bigger announcement a few days ago, the significance between 345 and our area code. Did you know that? Do you know who's to give the praise to?
For 345? Mm-hmm. I don't want to call the wrong name, but I think the gentleman used to work for Cayman Wireless.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay,
Mr. Rudy Miles?
No, Rudy Ebanks.
Rudy Ebanks, yes.
It's always an Ebanks. I mean, air on the side.
Well, here's the thing. The person who enlightened us was Mr. Kenneth Ebanks.
Also known as Clydas?
Might be.
How am I supposed to know that?
It's going. But I do know the story.
Yes.
Mr. Rudy Ebanks. Yeah.
Yeah. So he was he said came and said, I'm glad someone's bringing light to it. Do you know the history behind it? Do you know the significance? And we were just like,
yeah.
No, we didn't. But please enlighten us. So he said, he came back, and it was a time when the entire region was
we were under the 809 area code, yes,
and had hit the cap.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
So it was, what were we going to be? Yeah. And he suggested 345, and that was accepted. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of stories to be told and to be heard. And I mean, I've said this many times being on the radio with you, Sterling. To know who we are as a people and to know where we're going, we need to know and understand where we came from.
But we also got to be the ones writing the story.
Yes. And that's one thing that the conversations that need to happen, especially where we've talked about oral. A lot of us learn everything through oral history.
Yeah.
And one thing, and we've done started to do as a nation in the government itself, is recording that oral history, because our folks are getting up there and they're forgetting things and whatnot. So those are things that Celebrate Cayman, the ministry, the Department of Communications, we're all working together fastidiously to collect that oral history, because once someone's gone, that
a lot of time the history dies with them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I'm mindful of our time. I thank you for joining us, right? And then
You
closing,
getting
you
rid of
can
us?
share. I got to check with Susan. Are we getting rid of them? Do we have people coming? Are people outside? We got to take a break.
Okay. Can I just
go ahead, sir?
So this year's Emancipation Day, I just want to say that we couldn't possibly get all the ideas that this group was put together in. So some of the stuff, to get things kick off, will happen this year. But there are also a lot of new ideas that are already in the pot for next year. And one of those that we hope to expound upon is, somebody mentioned her name earlier, was Long Celia, who was a slave girl at the time, who had the highest amount of lashes recorded, as far as I know, throughout the entire West Indies, for a woman. She experienced. Normally, the lashes that were assigned were, I think it was 39 or 40, but for her being found guilty of simply advocating for her freedom, she was given 50 lashes on her bare body in Georgetown, and I think we can easily say that Long Celia would have been our first female advocate, and somebody who we need to recognize and keep in the fore of our minds as we struggle with other things in life. But so much so, the struggles that women have in this little country and throughout the world, and that she can be elevated to a place of prominence in our community as somebody to look up to. Because the only thing she advocated for, the only thing she was asking questions about her freedom, which in truth and in fact, the discussions had started. She got wind of it and mentioned it, and for that she got whipped. So there's a lot for us to do here, a lot for us to look forward to. Tanisha and Ventisha have done a great job bringing us to this stage, to this point, but there is so much more to do for emancipation and the things that are connected to it.
Yeah. And this is where I think these conversations will continue. Ms. Tanisha?
Well, again, we invite everyone to come out to at least one of the events, because we have so many things planned. And so this year is the year of the return. That's the theme. So as Mr. Alfonso said, we're still in this learning discovery stage. And so each year we hope to have a different theme, that we focus on a different part of Cayman's culture and our heritage, as we get to learn and also document what took place as well. So maybe next year might be the theme of Long Celia. We don't know. So we invite people to come out this year, learn about emancipation, learn about how it is in the context of the Cayman Islands, and then also enjoy themselves, because it is a celebration of freedom.
It is, and I think Dr. Martin Luther King's words, rings with us, let our freedom ring, as it were.
Yeah.
One of our educator listeners, as an educator, shared some information relative to what I think Mr. Hurlston was also relaying earlier. So much to be, enjoyed, celebrated when it comes to freedom and democracy. Thanks very much. May you journey back to the back.
Well, just before you send me out of here, I just want to remind folks of what is happening.
Yeah, on the seat as you go right ahead.
So again, starting a week from today, Friday, May the 3rd, is 345 Day. Wear your Caymanian colors. Be proud to be a Caymanian. Be proud to be in the Cayman Islands. on Friday, May the 3rd. Saturday, May the 4th is the gala at Pedro Castle. It's by invite only. Sunday, May the 5th, we're opening, of course, reverently with our church service at Emsley Memorial at 4 p.m. Join us there. Monday, May the 6th, our Emancipation Day / Hogstye Bay Day in Georgetown. We invite everyone all over the islands, whether you're local or a visitor, come out and join us for that day. Then we have the turtle release of the 62-pound turtle, even though Mr. What was his name? Mr. Hurlston.
Well, you want to eat him instead?
He wanted to eat that poor little turtle instead.
I got breadfruit.
So we're releasing that turtle from Governor's Beach at 9 o'clock on Tuesday, the 7th. On Wednesday, the 8th, we're in Bodden Town at a section of the slave wall, commemorating the fact that that wall is still standing after so many years and storms that the Cayman Islands have weathered. It is still there and built by the hands of our ancestors and our forefathers. And then we wrap in the Sister Islands on Saturday, May the 11th, and Sunday, May the 12th, with the Heritage Day and the Sister Island church service. So if you need more information, please feel free to join us either on our Instagram page, MYSCH_Cayman, our Where We From 345 Instagram page, as well as our Facebook page. Everything we put out there is out there. It's also on 90%, 99% of the government channels. Cross collaboratively, the Ministry of Culture is sharing, the Ministry of Education is sharing, the Department of Communications is sharing, the Ministry of Tourism is sharing, because this is not just a Ministry of Youth, Sports, and Heritage event. This is a government event. So we are all working hand in hand, again, also with Alfonso on Celebrate Cayman's page. Everything is going to be there so that you have information. If you can't find it and you need to call 244-2424, reach us in the ministry, or YSCH /events@gov.ky. Reach out to us. We're always happy to answer questions, find the right answer if we don't know it, and give it to you.
Again, thanks very much. Fonzo?
Tisha, I wonder if is it possible to elaborate a little bit more on Hogstye Bay Day? I know that this was originally a brainchild of Minister Kenneth Bryan. That I think he had it 2 years, I believe.
About 2 years ago, yeah.
And it turned out to be a very pleasing event, but it should have happened in February. But since the plans were around having Emancipation Day in early May, I believe that the discussions ended up with it being included in there. But also the significance of the proclamation and of the abolition of slavery, and the address to the slaves and the slaveholders in Georgetown, and the whipping of Long Celia, what we believe to be right in front of Hogstye Bay. We thought that it was best that we wrap all those things into one. But the actual details of the day, I think, is something that we probably can expound a little bit more on, so people know what's happening, kind of thing.
Yes.
I want to say one more thing, then I'll leave it to you. I said Kenneth Ebanks may have been a person that spoke to you about 345, and they're Rudy also has a brother named Kenneth, and I think that's who spoke to you. Would have been Rudy's brother, Kenneth.
See, this is where we learn.
Look
But
here.
here on the side of Ebanks, you can't go wrong.
It was Ebanks. I remember that much. So yeah, like Alfonso said, the Monday celebration starts at 1 p.m. We'll have a commemorative plaque that's being laid by the museum. It will be unveiled. We'll have the reading of the proclamation in town on the steps of the museum, and we open the celebration there. Like I said, there's going to be a main stage with entertainment from a wide cross section of entertainers in Cayman, and then at 2 p.m. and this is the element of that Hogstye Bay Day from Minister Bryan's day a few years ago that we really wanted to make sure we had happening, is that water activity section of it. I'm not going to refer to it as what I've heard that little Hogstye Bay area was called many years ago. But the enjoyment of the fact that, you know what, it didn't matter what color, where you were from, after you had a long day of listening to the gospel, y'all went into Hogstye Bay and jumped off into the water and had a good time. So that element is still there. There are going to be some swimming races, jet skis. Their catboat club is going to be out there giving catboat rides in the harbor. So there'll be a lot of water elements happening between 2 and 5. And we're going to enjoy it. Don't know if I'm going to participate, but...
Yeah, Hogstye Bay was a hub of activity on a Sunday afternoon, primarily Sunday afternoon after church. In particular, the Georgetown people just flooded down there. Mango season in June, July, and whenever guineps and plums were out, that they were a big part of what used to happen down there. Many a young person in the Georgetown area learned to swim out there. The bigger boys would simply pick you up and throw you off, and they'd tell you swim or drown. But nobody ever drowned, because they would do that to you, but they would look after you. If they saw you struggling, they come and get you. Right? They never did. Nobody ever came to harm out there. So it was a pleasant meeting place for the Georgetown people. It's only the onset of commercial activity in the harbor that has kind of prevented that from happening now, and there are regulations and stuff like that out there because of all the boats and stuff moving around, and the Port Authority actually has some real restrictions for doing things like this out there, but they're also working along with this to make sure that we're protected in there, and the boats and stuff won't be coming into the area and stuff there on that day. So it's a collaborative effort all around. Everybody's supporting this. You just need the public to do the same thing.
All right. We're looking forward to being there. And Ms. Vantisha, who knows? Someone may throw you over.
Lord have mercy.
Just saying.
Don't put no ideas in nobody's head.
Lord Graham?
Watch your six. Watch your six.
But thank you all very much. And I want to invite you back collectively, individually, with other team members, throughout the year, so we can have more sharing of knowledge and more stewing of turtle. All right. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
Discover your dream home with Cayman National's home loan. Get up to 95% financing, repayment up to 40 years, and just a 0.5% commitment fee. Your interest rate? Depending on your risk factors, it'll be fixed or variable. Plus, you get a pre-approved credit card. This is a limited time offer. Dial 949-8300 or email lending@caymannational.com today.
From boat days to beach gatherings, leave the catering to Subway. Choose from small and large sandwich platters, double meat wrap platters, and top it off with optional cookie platters for dessert. Or ask about our Subway box to go with the option of 6-inch or foot-long sandwich, 1 cookie, and 1 bag of chips. For all occasions and celebrations, let Subway focus on the food so you can focus on the fun. Visit subway.ky for catering options. Subway. Eat fresh.
Now, more than ever, supporting your immune system is crucial to helping your body fight off illnesses like the common cold, the flu, and COVID-19. At ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road and in Buttontown, we carry all the essential vitamins and minerals to help support your immune system and improve your overall health. Some of our top immunity support picks are vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, elderberry, and quercetin, or the popular 7-in-1 immunity support. Our pharmacists are always on hand to help guide you and answer any questions. Visit ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road or Buttontown. Live happy, live healthy with ValueMed Pharmacy.
Look ya, have you heard about Long Celia? Long Celia was an enslaved woman of African descent who shared the news of emancipation with other slaves. As a result, she was put on trial for her act of rebellion, where she was found guilty in order to receive 50 lashes as punishment. This occurred at a time when the limit for whipping enslaved people was 39 lashes, and most women were not whipped. Follow us at Where We From 345 on social media to learn more about Cayman's history. Brought to you by the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Heritage.
Let's talk health, Cayman. The Ministry of Health and Wellness is launching a public consultation on May 1st to help develop a new national health strategy for the Cayman Islands, and we need your help. We want to hear your thoughts and experiences with healthcare across all 3 of our islands. Your voice matters. Log on to gov.ky/health-wellness or email mohfeedback@gov.ky to learn more or to get involved.
Cayman, get ready for an adrenaline-fueled event like no other. Round 2 of the 2024 Seaward National Tour, Sunday, May 5th at South Sound Dock. Watch as Cayman's top riders push their jet skis to the limits. JJ McLean, Klein Glidden, Brandon Elliott, and so many others. Family-friendly atmosphere, free admission, food trucks, and non-stop entertainment. Feel the vibe and ride the wave with the Cayman Islands Watercraft Association. Round 2 of the 2024 Seaward National Tour, Sunday, May 5th, South Sound Dock, starting at 11 a.m. Proudly sponsored by Car City, Cayman Islands Coast Guard, Cayman Islands Fire Service, Pepsi, Fast Signs, J&M Equipment, Ministry of Youth, Sports and Heritage, Party Animals, Seabreeze Charters and Jet Ski Rentals, Verdant Isle Farms, Health City Cayman Islands, National Logistics, Onshore IT, Ministry of Tourism and Ports, Radio Cayman, and Breeze FM.
You know who this is? That same old girl that went to Hollywood and Panama? Well, guess what? The fun ain't done yet, because this year, I'm going to country concerts in Denver. I got kick up my heels in Times Square, and I got find my way to Barbados. I got keep living the dream with Cayman Airways. We so blessed to have them. I tell you what though, this old girl's feeling younger than ever.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering international non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, Denver, Los Angeles, Panama, Kingston, Mobe, La Ceiba, and Havana, plus Barbados. Enjoy free rum punch, free in-flight entertainment, free seat selection, and free meals on select flights. Call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back, and thank you very much for joining us. And to Miss Katina Anglin, always just a true pleasure to be in your company. I was going to say, as you were saying earlier, but let me just leave it for now. Blessings to you, Lydia. How are you?
I am wonderful. And of course, Dwayne, it is a pleasure to be back. I have not been in this studio for some time.
Yeah,
too long. And I have missed this seat. I have missed you. I have missed this radio station. I have missed the general public. Good afternoon, everybody. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. So, welcome back, Dwayne.
Thank you very much. And that's the presence of you, that genuineness of appreciating what life has to offer, for recognizing the past that we may have traversed, but for acknowledging the promise of what lies ahead. And with you, there is this sincerity, a very conscious, deliberate, purposeful approach. Thank you.
Intentional.
Intentional.
Listen, the Bible says, make your yea be a yea and your nay be a nay. In other words, you know, your word is your bond. Say what you mean and mean what you say. Be intentional about what you say and what you do, because if you just pass word and have no intent on it, right, then it's just not worth the breath that you spoke it with. So we have to be intentional in all that we say and all that we do, and that intent should be to build up, to edify, you know, to invest in others, to pull people up from where they are and put them, you know, help put them on higher ground. God actually will take them up out of the pit, because our arms not long enough. I can tell you, I can't count on how many people wanted to help me and tried to help me when I was down in the pit. But their arms weren't long enough to get me out, you know. It took God's hand to lift me up out of the mire clay and set me on solid ground, and then people invested themselves in me. So
through you, today especially, but I know through our discussions in the past, it was, if you'd allow me, pun intended, it was a sobering reminder, right, of who we are, what we are, sometimes what we were, right, that is still being foisted upon us as if it's still who we are.
Yes, because we live in an unforgiving society, right? Often it makes people feel better about themselves if they can remind us of our past. My response to that is, I'm getting ready to write a book. You can take your time on each page. I'm writing a book in my present to show you the errors of my past and the goodness of God to take me out of what I was in, you know, and how he's paving the way for my future, and, you know, just how glorious that God is. And also to let people know that you're not that far down, that God's hand cannot reach you. And Dwayne, let me just continue on in this vein. The reason why I am here today is to promote the March for Jesus, to proclaim Jesus Christ in this country, that he is Lord and Savior of this country, of the people in this country. And that's my purpose for being here today, because he can lift anybody up from out of the mire clay if they give him a chance to.
But that's the thing, right? You have to want something. You got to be willing to seek it, and we seem to get and pursue that thing which we prioritize, right? With that, and I appreciate you sharing with us as much time as your incredibly busy schedule.
My incredible productive schedule.
I like that. You know where I was going, right? Because you can be busy.
Busy doing nothing. Yeah. Busy wasting your time. Yeah.
So as we get closer to the headline news, I want to ask you two immediate questions. You know, when is it, and who is expected to attend, invited to attend? Is it by invitation only? Who has been? I mean, but first off, when is it?
It's the 18th of May. We're meeting at the 7 Mile Public Beach at 3 p.m. and we'll set off marching at 4 p.m. up to the Albert Panton Street, where we had our Jesus Reigns concert last year. This year, the name of the concert is Thank You, Jesus. And God, we have a lot to thank him for. Who's invited? The general public. Who's coming? The general public. You know, so pastors, people, politicians, they're all going to be there, you know.
I know sometimes, if I may interject, sometimes things transpire and special invitations are being sent to certain people and the like, and any of that has happened, from the politician to the senior public servant to other members, you know.
Okay, so we've advertised that here on this radio station, even on this show. We've put it up on Facebook. We've shared it on YouTube. We've shared across all the social media outlets. We have an amazing... Christians on a whole are amazing. We can accomplish so much when we put our minds to it, right? So we've put this out as an invitation to the general public to join us for participation in the March for Jesus. So the invitation is not for you to frolic and for debauchery and revelry and so on. It is for the proclamation of Jesus Christ. I know that it is customary for people to invite politicians by special invitation, to invite politicians. I have I have had the politicians come to me and say to me, I'll be at the March for Jesus. I didn't even get the chance to invite. But because you'll be where your heart is, right? And, when something's happening at the club, it doesn't come with a special invite. There's an invite put out to the public. And the public who are inclined to that event, they attend. If there's an entrance fee, you pay the entrance fee and you go in. If it's a free event, then you just enter in, right? I am late on getting out general invitations to our elected leaders, and I do admit that. But you have also received the invite from the Honourable Premier, Ms. Juliana O'Connor-Connolly, who put her voice in that invitation to send out to the public, inviting them to come to the March for Jesus. She has yet to receive an official special invitation as a politician. All right? So has MP Catherine Ebanks Wilkes, who also put her voice, as did Ms. Barbara Connolly, MP for Georgetown, who actually attended last year, had not received a special official invite. You will go where you are inclined to go. You will do what you are inclined to do. What you think is the right thing for you to do, you will do. And when there's a general invitation to the public to attend an event, while it may be something somewhat prestigious or protocol to send a special invitation, when it comes down to religious events, right? When it comes down to something that is to do with religion, which is the absolute right, I don't see where I need to invite politicians, because I believe that they're going to be where their heart is. If you look at the Constitution, they would say, well, I'm there on a constitutional ground. If you look at just who they are as individuals, they say, I'm here because this is what I believe in. But I will be sending the invites, though admittedly late, to them through the Clerk of Parliament and through the Mr. Rose, Secretary of Cabinet. So some of them will actually get the invitation twice, but the invitation has been out there, and I sent unofficially the invitations via WhatsApp. Now, pastors, Pastor Alson, Reverend Bishop Nicholas Sykes, Pastor Cassius Fair, Christopher Rose, they've all lent their voices to this. And I've had children, children have said, yeah, let me do one of those invites because they're going to be in it as well. So we've got everybody on board. Good. Yeah.
Let's do the break and then you share with us some more.
I will. I got some amazing news to share.
All right, let's continue angling. Please join us after the news break. Stay tuned.
From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines.
With your latest headlines, I'm Felicia Rankin-Zollins. The waiting room entrance of the Cayman Islands Health Services Authority Accident and Emergency Service will be temporarily relocated from Friday, April 26th, 7:30 p.m. until Monday morning, April 29th, due to renovations to expand and enhance the service. In international news, King Charles will resume public engagements next week after making encouraging progress in his cancer treatment, Buckingham Palace has said. It won't yet be a full return to official engagements for the king, but the palace is sending positive signals. The king will begin next Tuesday with a symbolic trip to a cancer treatment center. His summer plans include a state visit where he will host the Emperor and Empress of Japan. The U.S. military has started building a large floating pier off Gaza's coast to facilitate the delivery of humanitarian aid, the Defense Department has said. Ships will deliver aid from Cyprus to the pier, where it will be loaded onto trucks to transfer across Gaza. The pier will be attached to the shore by a temporary causeway, which the trucks will use. U.S. officials say the pier will be operational by early May, but there will be no U.S. boots on the ground in Gaza. These are your headlines. I'm Felicia Rankin-Zollins.
www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
If you're a parent, you know that providing your child with a quality early childhood education can be expensive. However, the Ministry of Education offers financial assistance through its Early Childhood Assistance Program to help qualifying Caymanian families cover the costs at registered early childhood settings. Visit our online application portal at moeapplications.gov.ky to learn more and get started. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Education.
She hear clunk and her car stop. I was just about to send her some money, so I send it straight to her JN money transfer card. It cost me less, and perhaps she use the card, pay the garage right away. She'll get discount through the JN Rewards program in Jamaica. This card make things easy. You can even get funds at any multi-link ATM.
JN Money Transfer Card. Fast, affordable, convenient. Tell your loved ones in Jamaica about it. Sign up is free.
Ladies and gentlemen, have you heard the news? Digicel is back with exciting offers that are too good to resist. Activate one of our brand new prepaid or postpaid plans today and experience telecommunications like never before. With more data, dedicated entertainment options like Netflix, YouTube, Spotify, and endless social text data for all your favorite platforms. Digicel is here to make sure you stay connected and entertained. Whether you are on a prepaid or postpaid, you will also enjoy dedicated roaming data for the USA, Canada, and the Caribbean. It's all about value, and Digicel has got you covered.
Let's talk health, Cayman. The Ministry of Health and Wellness is launching a public consultation on May 1st to help develop a new national health strategy for the Cayman Islands, and we need your help. We want to hear your thoughts and experiences with healthcare across all three of our islands. Your voice matters. Log on to gov.ky/health-wellness or email mohfeedback@gov.ky to learn more or to get involved.
You know who this is? That same old girl that went to Hollywood and Panama? Well, guess what? The fun ain't done yet, because this year, I'm going to country concerts in Denver. I got kick up my heels in Times Square, and I got find my way to Barbados. I got keep living the dream with Cayman Airways. We so blessed to have them. I tell you what though, this old girl's feeling younger than ever.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering international non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, Denver, Los Angeles, Panama, Kingston, Mobay, La Ceiba, and Havana, plus Barbados. Enjoy free rum punch, free in-flight entertainment, free seat selection, and free meals on select flights. Call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
Find your dream car with a Cayman National Vehicle Loan. Enjoy 100% financing, up to 8-year repayment, and a 7% fixed interest rate for the first 5 years. For eco-friendly cars, we'll waive your commitment fee. This only applies to new vehicles. Call 949-8300 or email lending@caymannational.com today.
Cybercrime happens online or through the technology we use every day. Anyone can be a victim of cybercrime, whether you are a young person being bullied or harassed online, or an older person or business who's been scammed out of money or personal data. Cybercrime is an issue that touches all of us. The Cayman Islands government has therefore created an online resource to help keep you cyber safe in an ever-changing world.
In online situations, it is better to be cyber safe than sorry. Learn now to protect yourself against cybercrime. Visit gov.ky/cybersafe.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back. I must share, even though we're cognizant that we are live on air, I'm in the excellent presence, company, and care of none other than Miss Catino, who is here. Hey, look at that, Susan. Without any practice, the one spoke. So, such love. Okay.
Be good. Boy,
be good. Be good. But you know what, though? It's when you purpose love in your heart, You recognize, you know. And as I speak to you, I'm reflecting on someone, something, and sometimes it is true the sharing of love. And as I see it sometimes, Katina, it's too easy, you know, for us not to laugh, and yet we make a big effort out of avoiding it.
Oh, goodness. Man, we can be in a hurry to complain.
You know?
Give us any laugh about first thing tomorrow, and we'll sit down, stop talking foolishness.
There you
know
go.
what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah.
And you know me, boy, and I miss a good laugh.
But you know, don't blame me for that. Invite me anytime.
Yeah.
But the Bible says, right? I learned this when I was in Miami with my daddy. I learned this scripture that Luke 6:45. A man speaks from his heart. If his heart has stored up good, good comes from his mouth. If he has bad stored up in his heart, bad comes from his mouth, because the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. So, you know, if you keep yourself in a happy position, you're probably, if you have a happy heart, you're grateful and stuff, right?
Yep.
You're probably going to have a pretty good laugh throughout the day.
That's my daughter, boy. That's my daughter.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Dwayne.
Yes, Mom.
Since we're on to good things, okay.
Okay. So March for Jesus on the 18th,
March for
right?
Jesus, yeah.
All right.
But for some reason, I can't get onto my site right now, so I can go ahead and I can tell you all about this, right?
Yes, please.
Maybe it's because I'm in here running on data. Maybe the room stopping it from connecting.
We have a Wi-Fi connection.
You do?
Yeah. The password is 345. Come alive. I didn't know what it is. I honestly don't know what it is.
Listen,
they tell me
people, listen, I'm paying attention to me and Dwayne up inside here, but listen to every word that we have to say, right? So I'm going to tell you all about this.
Yeah.
I want you all to get your pens and your notepads, because I got some information to share with you this afternoon, and then I want you to go ahead and I want you to share it back out with everybody who you know. And if you write it down, you'll have it. And by writing it down, you know, you'll help ingrain it in your memory. So even if you're not digging in your bag, trying to find the information, you have it at the top of your head. So this is what I'd like you to do. I want you to write down 18th of May 2024, March for Jesus.
May 18th, 2024.
Yeah. 3 p.m. at the 7 Mile Public Beach. Okay? 6:30 p.m., Thank You Jesus concert. But there's something else I want you to do as well. I want you to write down this website address. It's www.christian.ky. When you go to that website, you just go ahead and click on the tab that says March for Jesus 2024. And what happens when you do that is you come to an info page and it tells you all about the March for Jesus. It tells you what it is not. We're not about protests. We're not about doctrines. We're not about issues and organizations and businesses and so on and so forth. We are about Jesus Christ and proclaiming his name in the Cayman Islands as Lord and Savior of the Cayman Islands on the 18th of May. We proclaim it on the 18th of May, but we just know this to be the fact forever. Always has been, always will be. And then you can also click on the transportation page, motorcade/transportation page. And I'll come back to the motorcade element in just a moment. Sorry. So the transportation page tells you about where you can be and when you should be there, all right? If you need transportation from North Side, so if you're up there in North Side, go ahead. So contact Pastor Conway King over there at the Western Holiness Church. And if you're in East End, go ahead, so contact Mr. John McLean Jr., all right? If you are in Boddentown, call 929-6657. That's the Christian Association's number. If you're in Georgetown, call 326-1355 or 929-6657. If you are in West Bay, call 929-6657. But you can get all this information off that web page. I just putting it down for the people who have headphones stuck in their ears and they can't log on right now, so they can write this down. But your general information number is 929-6657. All right, and the website is www.christian.ky, and you click on the March for Jesus page. Now, I mentioned about the transportation just now. All right, let me tell you about the motorcade. Last year, we had a mile of cars. All right, we had a march and we had a motorcade. This year, we only want a small amount of cars. We want the people who are unable to make that journey to participate in the motorcade. All of those young, fit, able-bodied, let me take out the word young, because that's not fair. Because we had a man who was 75 years of age, all right, 5 years over his expected lifespan of 70 years, out there marching, and he marched from Public Beach to Albert Panton Street, and he made it in. And Bishop Dolbert Clark was also marching as well, and he's not particularly a young man. So it's not about your age, it's about your ability and your desire to praise God and participate in this event.
And many people do runs and walks for charity, for other things, right?
Mm-hmm.
And as you do now, I'm thinking this distance is not, well, sometimes it's actually, not as long as a marathon. Huh?
This is true. And it's 4.3 miles from Public Beach to Albert Panton Street. And last year, when I saw that it was 4.3 miles, I thought to myself, how many are actually going to make this? The police told us that we needed to adjust our concert schedule because they didn't see how we were going to make it in on time. And you know what happened, Dwayne? We made it in 20 minutes early. All right. And remember, this was a march that was full of people who you don't typically see out walking and staying fit, and 75-year-old men and 72-year-old women participating, and God brought them all in. It was their willingness that he was able to act on,
Yeah.
So let's put the march first, and then those who cannot participate, then they can come up behind in their vehicles in the motorcade, and we have some identification tags so that the police and other persons will know that these cars are a part of the procession this year.
And that's the thing, the procession.
The other part I want to mention in this about the motorcade is, and transportation is this. We have made arrangements for those with special needs and disabilities. So if you're thinking you can't participate because, there's no way for you to be able to get on and off a bus, we're going to let you know we have a handicap special needs bus in our fleet also to help you get on and off, and maybe you just need to roll your chair in. Listen, we've made preparations for you to be a part of this because we want to include.
This is inclusion.
This is real, true inclusion. All right? So we've done transportation, we've done motorcade. Now I want to get on to registration. Registration for individuals are not necessary. We wouldn't be able to handle individual registrations and feel through them for the March for Jesus, in all honesty, because my administrative team is not that great. But here's what we want. We want the organizations. All right, so that will be your quasi-church organizations, right? To register their groups. We want the churches to register their congregants after they've polled their congregants to find out how many will be participating in the march. We want you to register those. Why is that important to us? Because we're providing the water, the refreshments. We're providing the marshals, the Red Cross, and everything. So we need to be prepared for you. We want to be prepared for you. We need to keep you safe while you're going on. We need to be able to give account to the RCIPS as to what it is that we're really anticipating, and we get this information by you registering your organization's participation. We have a general idea of how many individuals are likely to show up who are not part of a church, right? But if the churches are registering their congregants, it just gives us a much better, easier calculation of what there is to expect that day.
All right, let's take this final break. Ms. Katina?
Let's do that, and then when we come back, I can tell them some more awesome stuff again. Stay tuned because we're not done yet. Listen, stay tuned. You're gonna love this.
At Doctor's Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctor's Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
The offices of dermatologist Dr. Wayne Porter will be taking appointments April 29th to May 5th at his Crew Road Clinic. Appointment slots are limited. Whether you are seeking advanced skincare, Botox, filler, cosmetic skin enhancements, or simply looking to reduce wrinkles, Dr. Porter offers a full-service dermatology and dermatological surgery practice. For more information, email dr.porterkman@gmail.com or call 946-9020 to book your appointment today. That's 949-9020.
The Economics and Statistics Office is currently conducting the annual business surveys until June 14th. The surveys seek to collect information needed to answer these questions. How did the economy perform in 2023? In 2023, how much did foreign companies invest in the Cayman Islands? The surveys include all relevant entities that produce goods and services in the Cayman Islands. The surveys are confidential under the Statistics Act and are exempt from the Freedom of Information Act. Your response matters. Do your part. Fill out and return your survey forms to the ESO. Remember, better data, better decisions, better business. For assistance in filling out the forms or for more information, visit www.eso.ky or call 244-4676 or 244-4600.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back, and thanks to Miss Susan. Sometimes, well, I don't know. I guess she's glad that she has a break of music after me that she can unwind. But publicly, to her and the rest of the crew, thanks very much. Because you know, Miss Katina Anglin,
yes,
it can be a handful, eh?
Yeah. Hey, listen, we wouldn't sound as good, if Susan wasn't in the studio and the rest of the support team that makes this work, So, with all gratitude.
Indeed, man. I listened to her on Saturdays, in the afternoons, and I fondly recall Mr. Dolan, she bring those country classics, and I think that's a reminder, and I say that publicly, not to embarrass her, but to take a page from what you shared. Here's an opportunity for all of us, saints and sinners alike. Last evening I had a wonderful time of fellowship, as it were, but I wasn't in church, right? But there was an honest conversation. There was sharing of, good information. So there's communication. And I say that perhaps be guided by you. A good fellow once said he found more fellowship, right?
Well, I can kind of understand that. Let me cut you off there to say
go right ahead,
this,
Mom.
right?
Save me from me.
You see, when the Bible tells us about forsake not the assembling of ourselves,
right?
All right, you got to really understand what that assembling of yourself really means, because there are times when we come together as a corporate body. And we praise, and we glorify God, together as one, But the Bible tells us that we are to carry each other's burdens. So when you go to church to praise God, you're not in church and everybody having this big old conversation in the whole entire room, everybody laying their problems down, because then nobody not listening to them, because everybody pouring out what it is that is affecting them, right? So when you need someone to fellowship with, right, as an individual, because of things that may be perplexing you, crushing you, it kind of feels like, confusing you.
2 Corinthians
Right?
4, 8, and 9.
Now, you can always get me on the scriptures like that, because I
No,
can always remember.
No,
but,
me either, but that one I know.
oh, that's the one about pressed but not crushed.
Yeah.
Because you're more than a conqueror. Okay, then. So the fellowship of assembling of ourselves, all right, does not necessarily mean that we have to come together as 60 people in a building. Because wherever 2 or more are gathered in my name, there I am also.
Yeah.
And sometimes the best church that we can have is just 2 people sitting down under the shade of the tree talking about how great that God is, you know, and how he has helped us to carry our burdens, and then sharing one another's burdens and sharing whatever advice may be applicable to that situation, you know. Which then, Dwayne, draws me right back to the March for Jesus, okay? Because what the March for Jesus is about unity amongst the body of Christ.
Interdenominational.
Right? Yes. And it's not about doctrine. Here's the foundation of this. Jesus Christ is the Son of God, sent by God to earth for the salvation of sins, was crucified, died on a cross, rose on the 3rd day, ascended to heaven, and now is our advocate. Outside of that, there's no more to add to the march for Jesus. Jesus Christ is our Lord and Savior. All right? And it's about unity in the church. It is about proclaiming Jesus Christ as Lord and Savior. It is about being unafraid to be seen out praising God. Because plenty of us, we can go to church, but we can't go out and evangelize. We can't holler hallelujah across the street. We can't minister to persons that we see are obviously depressed in our workplace because we don't want to be ridiculed because we're a Christian. All right? We don't know how to say to people, well, can I pray for you? All right? This is an event where you can come and you can make the whole Cayman Islands see you're not afraid of proclaiming Jesus Christ. You love to make everybody to know that Jesus Christ is your Lord and Savior. I can tell you one topic I never get tired of, and it's one proclamation I am never afraid to make publicly. I want everybody to know that Jesus Christ is Lord and Savior. He is mine, and I want everybody to know he can be theirs also. All right. So, Dwayne, there is also the T-shirts that persons can purchase, and all they have to do is just go to the merchandise link on Christian.ky and then click on the March for Jesus tab. I did try to check this while we were on break and stuff. So I've sent her a technician and say, Houston, we have a problem. But not to worry, if you're not getting on now, that's okay, because you'll be able to get on shortly. Just go to Christian.ky, click on the March of Jesus tab. You get your information on the first page. Check the second page about registration if you're a church leader. Check the page about transportation if you need transportation, or you just want to have that information because somebody might ask you and you want to be fully equipped so you can share the good news with people about the March for Jesus. And click on the merchandise page so you can place your order for your T-shirts. Now, Dwayne, March for Jesus is a free event. Nobody needs to pay to register. All right? Nobody needs to purchase any water, purchase any snacks or anything. But what I would say to people is, be smart when you come. Last year we had people marching with their umbrellas. They knew it was going to be hot. They didn't want to be just in a cap. They came with their umbrellas. We had people came with their wide rim cap hats. I love that. Any of us out there that have them Cayman touch hats, come in them too. All right? One thing that you can use to keep yourself cool is a wet towel. So if you bring your towel, we'll have water there. You can wet it. All right? We're going to also have water for everybody that's marching. And please wear comfortable shoes. Okay? This is not the time to show off that you got a brand new pair of stilettos. This is the time for you to come in the most comfortable, durable pair of sneakers that you have. All right? And when we come on the show the next week, we will have with us a member of our marshals team, Miss Esther, who is a registered nurse, and she's going to share some more about safety during marching, avoiding heat strokes and stuff, you know, because it's wise information for people to have, not just for the March for Jesus, but this is information you take with you wherever that you are, because it is life-saving information. So we've already contacted, you know, the RCIPS and the fire department and the Red Cross ambulatory team for the hospital. So we've got all of this all sorted out and all prepared to deal with the public for the March for Jesus on the 18th of May 2024. Visit the website christian.ky and click on the March for Jesus 2024 tab. Remember that you can also drop an email to info@christian.ky, or you can send a WhatsApp to 929-6657, or you can even call that number. If you don't get through, just leave a message, 'cause I can tell you there's a lot of calls that are coming in. Leave your message or send a text, and someone will get back to you as soon as they can. But Kim Ann, I'm really looking forward to seeing you all out there marching for Jesus on the 18th day of May 2024. People, pastors and politicians, we're all going to be out there because there's only one God in this country. There's only one Savior, and that is Jesus Christ. Come on, let's march for Jesus.
Ms. Katina, thank you very much. Looking forward to maybe having another chat with you.
Next week.
All right.
Next week. We're going to be back here next week. And be sure check the schedule, because we're going to be back on you again next week, okay? And Kim Ann, gosh, I missed you all. God bless you.
Ms. Katina, a lady who's purposeful, who's prayerful, and I think through your presence, you showed us that we have to be intentional, you know, conscious, cognizant, you know.
Committed.
Committed.
You have to be committed.
Yep.
Whatever you're going to do, you got to commit yourself to it.
Yeah.
If you don't commit yourself to it, you may not achieve it, or it may not turn out as good as it could have, as it was meant to come out.
Indeed.
Oh, and by the way, all of you who didn't have a chance to wish me happy birthday yesterday, that's okay. I accept the happy birthday greetings till the end of the month. For the next year.
let me go. All right. Thank you very much.
Oh, you know, I almost forgot. Sorry, just 1 second. Listen, I want to do a big shout out to the people over in the Bahamas who are also marching for Jesus on the 18th of May 2024. I wanted to do a big shout out to the Caribbean Evangelical Association, because I'm going to be speaking with them coming up soon. I've spoken with the Secretary General there, because next year we're going to have a whole bunch of Caribbean nations on board, and that's why we're meeting. And I just want to say a big shout out to the March for Jesus organization, which is based in the United States, and those in South Africa, Netherlands, and the UK. Come on, guys, we marching for Jesus globally on the 18th of May 2024.
It's good to
That
know.
was my last word.
Yeah, no, hey, listen. I sit in your presence and in awe. I'm inspired by your enthusiasm, and I'm encouraged, you know, by your courageousness.
Amen.
To God be the glory, you know. And
Amen.
thanks for saving sinners, you know. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
All right, so everybody, have a wonderful weekend. Please join me Stuart come Monday morning for the record, and thank you. Your prayers mean a lot, and if you're purposeful, well, you actually can find much through prayer. Have a wonderful weekend.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration, explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. And Cayman Airways, call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And now, Barbados. And Digicel, Cayman's bigger, better network. And Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066.